Hi guys, and welcome to a very serious video. In this video today, we're going to be talking about palette addiction. Do you or somebody you love suffer from palette addiction? Symptoms include having packages show up to your house every friggin' day, justifying new purchases by saying it is in a new formula or different undertones, having so much makeup that the people in your life actually comment on a daily basis about how much fucking makeup that you actually possess. If this sounds like you, help is out there. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to find it on this channel. Hi guys, my name is Lacey of Spooky and Fat Hips, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's my favorite kind of video, the kind that I'm always excited for. I'm doing a collab. Today's a great video because today I'm going to be collabing with my soul sister, my palette collecting soul sister, Karen Harris, here on YouTube. Karen and I have bonded through both of us doing YouTube, but specifically over the fact that Karen and I both have absolutely fucking ridiculous eyeshadow collections. I think Karen might have me beat on how many eyeshadow palettes she has, but I don't know for sure though. If you come to my channel for my palette videos, please go check out Karen, because she does this amazing series on her channel called Swatch Party, where she buys all the new makeup and she swatches it, and she does collective hauls, she does reviews, and she's a great resource for any new palette that you have your eye on coming out, because I can guarantee you if I haven't gobbled it up, Karen probably has, or we both have. We both love eyeshadow. Very frequently I will be like, I decided to buy this palette after all, and she'll be like, girl, me too. So of course, Karen was the perfect person to collab for this video idea that we have today. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about palettes in my collection that deserve more attention than what they currently get. These are eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I love, but for whatever reason, I'm not reaching for them. So when we had this idea to do this video, I had a couple palettes in mind already that like immediately came to mind, like, oh, I love that palette, but I don't use it enough. And I grabbed a couple more. We're trying to stick to 5 palettes in our videos because I know that both of us have a habit of making very long videos and we have a lot of palettes and this could go on for a very long time, but I'm sticking to 5, though I'm cheating because I do have a bonus face palette that I'm including. Normally I stick to talking about eyeshadow palettes, but I do have a face palette that I want to talk about. In no particular order. Actually, I lied. I am going to go in order because I'm going to go with the palette that I'm wearing today because it's one of the, I think it is the first palette I thought of when I sat down to like pull palettes for this video. The first palette that does not get enough attention in my collection is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. In true makeup obsessed fashion, in true obsessive makeup compulsive fashion, if that is a phrase, trademarking it now if it's not, I have all of the Naked palettes. And I've kind of talked about this in my makeup addiction video, how like I kind of was under the impression when I first got into makeup that you needed to have those like cult favorite items in order to be good at makeup. I've since learned that that's not true. However, I do hold like a special place in my heart for the Naked palettes. I do like them. I like Urban Decay's formula. They're all kind of a little bit on the grungy side. I don't know. I just have a special place in my heart for the Naked palettes. Do you need them with how much exists in the world that is just like them at this point in time? Absolutely not. But, you know, I appreciate them for like the status that they hold in the beauty community and for what they are. But anyway, Naked Heat. Ooh, try not to reflect. I lost my mind when Naked Heat came out. First of all, this packaging I love so much because it's like a match, you know, it's struck like a match. I used to have the box still for this because the box literally looked like a matchbox, but like, I don't know, I just felt like keeping the exterior packaging wasn't doing me any favors. It was just creating more clutter. But if you're one of those people that collect, like, has the outside packaging for your palettes, that's a lot of P words. I'm not judging you. But when this Naked palette came out, I'm gonna have to take the brush out so it's not dropping. When this one came out, I lost my mind, and I don't actually know why, because I definitely have a shit ton of red tones and a shit ton of warm orangey tones and browns in my collection. But I go through these phases in my life, and I'm currently in one of these phases where I'm super into red tone, brownish, earthy toned eyeshadow looks. I started digging this palette out again recently because I think I've said all this already. I'm sorry if I'm repetitive. I just got hired at a new job. I've been trying to tone my makeup down for this job, but there are no specific rules that require me to have my makeup toned down. So I've been playing around with neutral looks. But this is quite literally the makeup I wore to work today, minus this lip color. I had a neutral lip color, like not a neutral, but like a nude lip color on. But this eye look is what I had today, and this is an eye look that I did with the Naked palette. But I think the thing that stops me from reaching for this palette all the time is the fact that despite that it's very warm and beautiful, it's missing like 3 key colors for me. One, it's missing an orange, like a true orange. We have some orangey toned browns, but not a true orange. It's definitely missing a red. I incorporated a red on my lower lash line today. I guess I'll show you guys. Keep in mind, I wore this look to work, so I'm definitely like missing foundation where my glasses are. But this is the look that I created to go to work today. And I put Love Plus from Sugar Pill on my lower lash line, which is a matte red. And I blended Love Plus out with this He Devil color, because I wanted just a pop of red. Because heat to me denotes like fiery matte colors, and that's what's missing. But the third color, I also think that this color like would go beautifully with this, is actually a matte purple. And I say this because of this like purpley brown on the end. I just feel like those, I don't know. I think that the lack of those very vivid colors is what makes me gravitate less towards this. But then on the other hand, it is the Naked series. It is supposed to be more wearable. We frequently have debates in my comment section about like when I say wearable, what I'm really saying is like work appropriate if you don't have a job that maybe allows you to wear a lot of makeup, or like calmer, like more neutral, like not, you know, smoky eyes every day like I tend to do. So the Naked series obviously is meant to be a more toned down eye look. For me, because they took like that extra step to be like heat. And I remember the PR packages for this were awesome. They came with like hot Cheetos and shit, like spicy foods. I remember like all the influencers opening the PR packages for this and being like, that's so fucking cool. Like, I want spicy snacks to go with my eyeshadows. But I do love, this is like by far my favorite Naked palette. I know that might be an unpopular opinion because a lot of people, this got mixed reviews because people thought it was too little too late. This had already been done a million times, and it definitely has. If this disappeared from my collection tomorrow, I would be fine. I would have a million other palettes that allow me to achieve the same similar eye look. But I just like this one. I like this one. It's really nice. My favorite, I really like these this is the metallic shade Ember that I put all over my lid today. That Scorched is really pretty. All of the metallics actually. I'm gonna just swatch the metallics for a second. I just like these like reddish brown tones. I think they're really pretty. I think you can get a very smoky, like gothy look with these colors without dipping into your browns and your grays and stuff. I don't know. I like it. Also, one last like good perk about buying a palette like these. So people, okay, I'm guilty. Look at my swatch fingers. I'm guilty with my swatch fingers of shitting on neutral palettes frequently in my videos. That is mostly because of the oversaturation of neutral palettes and the lack of companies like having the incentive to want to do something creative with new releases, probably out of fear that no one will buy them and that this sells, obviously. The good thing with the neutrals palette like this though, something especially like this palette that is very tonally similar in all of their shades, is that it's very easy to get a nice blend with your looks. It's very easy to build a beautiful gradient on your eyes in a way that I think beginners can really benefit from, and a way that maybe if you don't feel confident with your eyeshadow blending skills, a palette like this that kind of has a good gradient of light to dark tones is good for making a smooth, cohesive eye look, if that makes sense. This video is going to be long, and we specifically narrowed it down to 5 palettes for the purpose of keeping the video short. I need to get a makeup wipe and I need to move on. The second palette that came to mind when I was fishing through my drawers for this video was one that I like really coveted at one point. Like I wasn't able to get it upon the first release, and I like longed for it after the first release, and then it came back and I was so happy. And then I just never took advantage of it after I got it. Again, gotta toss the brush away for a second. The Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. Oh my gosh! First of all, if you didn't know, I am a huge Graveyard Girl fan. she's clearly an inspiration for my own channel because like she's also kind of a weird spooky kid, but she does the beauty related stuff and she really just like marches to the beat of her own drum. I think she's wonderful. I've been watching her for years, well before I was even into like the makeup stuff as hardcore as I am now. But when she collaborated with Tarte, first of all, I remember that being a huge deal because she was one of the first YouTubers to get a collaboration like that. I think now we're all so sick of YouTuber collaborations with makeup brands. Like, there's a new one out every fucking day, let's be honest. But I remember it was such a big deal when she got this collab. It was such a huge deal. And it was right around the time when, oh, this package is not good for the ring light. I'm going to try to hold it like this. It was right around the time when I was getting into high-end eyeshadows. So I kind of missed the, like, it was before I was in my crazy mode of like stalking release times and like waiting on websites into the night and like shit like that. So I missed it on the first release because it sold out like instantly. And then it was never in store. I could never find it again. It smells so good. It smells like vanilla cake. And then I was so bummed because I loved Graveyard Girl so much and I like these colors so much. There's these beautiful, I'm so sorry about the ring light. There's these beautiful like purpley tones and then these reds, which are colors that she frequently wears. It's perfect. And it was sold out and I was devastated, but then it came back and I was so happy to get it on the second release. But then the second release, it hung around for a while. I don't know if it could still be available on Tarte for all I know. I don't think it is, but I know it hung around for a while. I think because there was so much hype the first time and the second time people were real over it. But these are really nice shadows. She did include face products on the one side, and I think that's where my personal problem is that I reach for palettes less when they have face products in them, and I don't know why that is. And they're not terrible either, the face products. Everything in this palette is extremely glittery though. The highlight is very nice. The bronzer, I probably personally would never use actually as a bronzer. It's a little dark and a little orange for me. The blush is nice, but it has sparkles in it, and I don't like sparkles in a blush personally. The eyeshadows are great though. This Dogman color is fantastic. And these purples, I just think it was a very well thought out palette for bunny fans because like I said earlier, these are colors that she wears. These are colors that she uses in her eye looks a lot when she is doing makeup related videos. And it's a good formula. Tarte shadows for me have always been very hit or miss over the years, and I have some Tarte palettes that I really, really fucking love, and others that just got decluttered very quickly. These are nice. I don't reach for this enough. For as much of a bunny fan as I am, I don't reach for this enough. Again, like the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, I could get eye looks, like similar eye looks that I could make with this palette, with other palettes, and I just think, I don't know. I need to reach for this one more. I like those purples a lot. I think it's understandable why some of my more neutral palettes can maybe fall to the sidelines in my own collection just because of how many palettes I own and how redundant neutral shadows are in my collection. But this one might be shocking. This is a palette that you would think that I would reach for more, but I don't. I think because I'm not sure what to do with it, which is, again, is weird for me. The Juvia's Place Zulu palette. Out of all of the Juvia's Place palettes I own, this is the one I reach for the least. And I don't know why. It's a beautiful palette, but I just feel like every time I look at this, I don't know what to do with it. And these colors to me read very like Easter jelly bean / circus clowny. I think it's because of this white background on top of these colors. Like, it reminds me of like a clown suit with polka dots. I'm not saying this in a bad way. I just like, every time I look at this, I never feel inspired. And I've seen like Angelica do some really amazing looks with the Zulu palette. But for me, every time I pick it up, if I'm picking it up, it's to use as an accent palette to other Juvia's Place palettes. I'm never making one cohesive look out of this. I don't know why, especially considering you could use these top three shadows for like a neutral base and then pop any one of these shimmery colors on the lid and you'd get like a very nice, pretty, warm look with a pop. To me, this is the Juvia's Place palette that inspires me the least. But it's so pretty and it does perform the same way that other Juvia's Place palettes perform. I should really like challenge myself to use this palette. I don't do like palette bingos or things like that, but maybe I should try. I think a palette bingo with this would look ridiculous though. I don't know. If you have any suggestions on fun ways that I could like try to use this palette in its entirety, please let me know because I don't want to waste my Juvia's Place palettes because they're how beautiful. They're my babies. One last eyeshadow palette. My chair is so creaky always. I know I've said this before, but I sit on an antique piano stool, and one day I will get a chair that's appropriate for filming YouTube videos with. One last palette, one last eyeshadow palette that nobody ever talks about these palettes, and it's a shame because they're good palettes. I'm going to talk about all of the palettes in this collection, but focus on one specifically. The Ciaté London, first of all, this packaging. Oh my, I love it so much. It's so cool. The Ciaté London eyeshadow palette is just blanket statement. Any eyeshadow palette from Ciaté London never seems to get any attention. The Pretty, Fun, and Fearless collection. So Chloe Morello and Ciaté London collabed for the Pretty, Fun, and Fearless palette collection. She had like a lip color, and it came with like an eyeliner, I think, or a mascara. I have that. I have both of Chloe Morello's collabs because I like the Ciaté formula a lot. Before there was Chloe's Pretty, Fun, and Fearless palette, there was 3 individual Pretty, Fun, and Fearless palettes. This one that I'm singling out is the Pretty palette. And I'm singling this one out because these are my colors. These earth tone, almost Halloween-y colors, this purple, those oranges. Very similar to the Graveyard Girl palette. That's interesting. I'm singling this one out because this one is so pretty, this one's so up my alley, and I almost never reach for these Ciaté palettes, and I don't know why. And in fact, Ciaté just came out with 2 new palettes in the same kind of style, these like little tiny ones, and they're on my Sephora loves list. Like I'm probably going to purchase them even though I don't need them, but I don't even reach for this one enough, which shows how sick I am in the head. I don't know why Ciaté palettes don't get talked about enough. I can assume that it might, I'm trying to do swatches, no, cross-examining. I can assume that maybe, swatch real quick. It might have to do with these irregular pan sizes or the fact that Ciaté is really a UK brand. The mattes are good. They're not like crazy mind-blowing, but they're nice. The metallics are really nice too though. You can get very pretty looks with the Ciaté palettes, and it's a formula that works well. I don't know what my problem is. Maybe because these didn't get a lot of YouTube hype that maybe I haven't. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of too small palettes. I'm a big lover of like medium-sized palettes. I don't like the big Morphe size 35 plus palettes, and also teeny tiny palettes where you only get a few limited kind of looks from. Don't tend to like get reached for enough by me either. I kind of like the medium-sized palettes with enough variety that you can get like a great amount of looks in. I know a lot of people are starting to like have preference for like small palettes now. I don't know. Big palettes were all the rage like a couple years ago. Let me know if you guys have these palettes like these, because like I said, nobody ever talks about these Ciaté palettes ever. I don't know why.
Hi, this is post-editing Lacey. Apparently I got so wrapped up in my thoughts about the 4 previous palettes and the contour palette that I wanted to show that I totally forgot to tell you guys about the 5th eyeshadow palette that I picked out after exclaiming that I had 5 eyeshadow palettes. So the 5th palette that I wanted to bring up as a palette that really deserves more attention in my collection is the Urban Decay Electric palette. And if you open mine up, you can see, whoop, that was me without makeup. If you open mine up, you can see that mine's basically brand new. I've almost never used this, and I bought this before I was really into colorful makeup because it was like an it palette. Like everyone was talking about this palette and how well it performs and like how it was like the be all end all colorful palette for a second. So I bought it, I think on sale during that hype before I was even really comfortable wearing colorful makeup. And now because I am more into colorful makeup, but I've like evolved with other different palettes that maybe have more cohesive color stories, so to speak, I never reach for this. And it's a shame because this is literally a classic. I apologize if the coloring is like off right now because I don't have my ring light up. I'm using sunlight because I literally was sitting down to edit this video and realized that I had forgot to mention this. But I just wanted to bring it up because like literally you could still get this up until very recently. Like Urban Decay had discontinued it, but Nordstrom Rack had it for like a year, I feel like. And it's beautiful. I never reached for it. And like these greens are beautiful. Everyone talks about this silver Revolt as being like the best silver ever. I think Fringe is a gorgeous shade. I think I might have used this once. I've never reached for this palette. If anything on this list deserves more attention in my collection, it is the Urban Decay Electric palette for sure. It is beautiful, it's a staple, it's a classic, and I really need to incorporate it more.
And then finally, I did want to include one face palette because I love this palette and I never fucking reach for it. But I'm pretty sure I know why. This is the Lunatick Cosmetic Labs Contour book. Contour palette book, I believe. I have volume 1. Since I've purchased volume 1, they have come out with a volume 2, which is meant for deeper skin tones. The first volume that I have is meant for lighter skin tones. This is a beautiful product. I think I bought this actually because of Graveyard Girl, so full circle. You get your kind of bronzy bronzer shades. Bronzy bronzer shades. You get the brown tone bronzer shades on the top. You get a row of really beautiful blushes in the middle, and then you have gray tone contour shades on the bottom. And that is because contouring is to mimic shadow. Shadow is gray. So this is a very practical makeup artisty kind of palette. Very theatrical. I do reach for this palette, but not for day-to-day wear. When I reach for this palette, it's when I'm doing drag-inspired looks. And I do drag makeup in the privacy of my own makeup room alone, and I never photograph it or take videos of it because I don't think I'm that talented. But when I'm doing something theatrical, I reach for this palette. From a day-to-day standpoint, I don't reach for this palette enough, and these blushes alone are beautiful and reason enough why I should grab these. I love that they're all separated tonally, so you get a very cool tone white to go with these gray tones. You get a yellowy base kind of matte cream shade to go with these brown shades. You get these lovely blushes. Plus, this is a gorgeous formula, and the pans are refillable, which I think is such a good, like, forethought for Lunatick Labs to, like, sell the individual pans, so that way this whole book is an investment. This is a very expensive palette, but then once you have it, it's worth having because you can replace the shades you use the most. I hate a contour palette that is not refillable. That drives me fucking crazy because it's such a waste of money. But this is a beautiful palette. These are beautiful, beautiful shadows. Powders. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them. They're not coming up very pigmented, which is a good thing because these are face products. You want them to be buildable. You want them to have a certain level of sheerness to them so that you're not going in with a beautiful, like a brutally gray bruised cheek. You can gradually build up a nice cool tone contour. It's a great indie brand. I love that they came out with the volume 2 so that there would be a range big enough for everybody. This deserves more love. This deserves more love in my collection for sure. Plus, look at the cover. I don't even know what way I'm technically supposed to hold it. I think this way. It's so cool. And I need to use it more. But yeah, that is everything. That is 5 eyeshadow palettes and 1 bonus face palette that I really need to start paying more attention to in my collection. They're good palettes. They're good products. They're products that I really like. I need to reach for them more. I don't like doing the whole like shop my stash basket thing because I don't like to force myself to ever use makeup. I like to just use makeup at the pace that I want to use it, if that makes sense. But maybe there's some validity to that stuff. Maybe I could force myself to pull products and use them more. I don't know. Thank you so much, Karen, for wanting to collab with me. I love doing this. You are my palette soul sister and I love you so much. Seriously, guys, if you love eyeshadow palettes, you gotta go check out Karen's channel. I'm gonna link it down below. I'm gonna link her video down below. Just go. You'll thank me later if you're an eyeshadow junkie like myself. What are some eyeshadow palettes that you love but maybe aren't giving enough attention in your own collection? Definitely talk to me about it down below. What do you think of the palettes that I shared in this video? Do you own them? Do you not reach for them either? Do you really love them and reach for them a lot? Let me know if there's any way that I can stop doing jazz hands, but also incorporate these palettes more in my collection that you would suggest. Please let me know. If you like me, if you like this video, if you like palettes, please hit like and subscribe. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!